Hi, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Dillon.
And welcome to the show where we review books and their movie adaptations. One of us reads the book and then watches the movie. The other one watches the movie and then reads the book. And we give you our recommendation for which order gives you the best experience. And this month we're doing A Case of Need by Michael Crichton, which was later adapted into the movie A Carey Treatment.
Yeah, you might not know it by the title, but this movie right here is based on Michael Crichton. Yeah. And you read the book first this time. Can you tell them about the book?
Yeah, so this book was written by Michael Crichton in 1968 under the pseudonym Jeffrey Hudson, which was I think the only book he wrote under Jeffrey Hudson. It was Michael Crichton's fourth novel.
So he wrote some as Michael Crichton and then did...
No, I think he wrote some as another pseudonym before that. I don't remember. I mean, if I look at it, we'll put it up on the screen here. Mm-hmm. He wrote some different types of stuff, mystery stuff, Western stuff, I think, even for a while before he kind of got his groove. Mm-hmm. It was then re-released in 1993, which is probably this version you've got right here, under Michael Crichton's name.
So even after the movie?
Yes, much after the movie. Yeah. And the book then tells the story of John Barry, who is a pathologist, I believe. He's in the lab looking at how people may have died. Mm-hmm. So he gets a call. His friend has been arrested for performing an illegal abortion. Yeah. And again, this is the 60s. Mm-hmm.
Very controversial.
And so he goes on a mission to try to figure out what's going on here. There's like a mystery afoot, medical mystery, and also just a criminal mystery kind of.
Yeah. And this book was adapted into a movie in 1972. They changed the title to The Carey Treatment, because also the main character's name is changed. In the book, it's John Barry. They changed him to Peter Carey for the movie. So Dr. Peter Carey, it follows the same plot. He's a pathologist trying to clear his friend and colleague's name because he thinks something strange is going on here. It's not what it seems. And I like the synopsis that IMDb has for this movie, so I'll just read that short synopsis. It says, at a Boston hospital, a new surgeon, Dr. Carey, becomes an amateur sleuth to help clear a colleague's name who's accused of botching an illegal abortion that killed a 15-year-old girl, the daughter of the chief surgeon. I like the amateur sleuth thing because it really is a detective story, even though he's a doctor. And
it is. He does. He's a doctor who really goes out of his way to play detective. Yeah. In both of them. And
the movie stars Peter Coburn as Dr. Carey. Also stars Jennifer O'Neill, Pat Hingle, Sky Aubrey, and James Hahn, to name a few. So now let's get into our discussion of it. I know you're a big Michael Crichton fan. I'm getting into him. How did you feel about reading the book first?
I really enjoyed this book. I had read it before a long time ago, and I really think it's classic Michael Crichton. It's a thrilling page-turner, lots of technical details, in this case of a medical standpoint, and some stuff about law, really. Yeah. And it does show there's a lot of points in it that show that it was written in the 60s. It's got some dated language and stuff like that in it. It's also, I thought it's so crazy to then read this again in 2023 when we have a lot of the same. I mean, okay, I read it in 2023. This is coming out 2024. Yeah, but a lot of the same issues going around surrounding abortion as a controversy, and it's been 50 years almost, right, since this, or almost, 55 years or something like that. More than 50 years since this book was written, and you could write this book today and it would come out almost the same. Yeah. Change the state. It's in California. But
I felt the same watching the movie. I watched it first, so I was surprised, going into it. Maybe I judged it a little bit, this is an old movie. It might not hold up that much. But it is really entertaining. And that was the exact thought I had, not just about the abortion discussion, but kind of medicine in general, like some problems in medicine. I thought
about like the way the bureaucracy of like a hospital and medicine and that kind of a thing.
Yeah,
right?
and there's kind of some corruption going on, and it really felt like this doesn't seem old at all. Like this movie could have come out today, and it doesn't feel dated. But you did touch on the book. It did feel more dated to me. And maybe this made me underrate the book a little bit, but because I also watched the movie first, the mystery was a little bit ruined for me, so it wasn't so much of a page turner. It felt a little dated, also because it goes into so much detail about medicine. I don't know, the way it was worked in there seemed a little less seamlessly into the story, like
I could see
Sphere
that.
or Andromeda.
Yeah, he's getting started, with this kind of a thing.
It's kind of like, here's an interesting detective story, and then footnote, here's how this medical thing works that isn't necessarily important to that part of the story. So I actually enjoyed the movie a little bit more.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't like the movie.
You didn't like it?
I didn't like the movie, at all. It seemed very dated in filmmaking style. The character is very much changed. The character is so aggressive in the movie. It's like I wrote in my notes that like in the book, he describes himself as like going like against how he usually is. He's being more aggressive. He's going against like what he would usually do to, investigate this for his friend. And he's like, it's out of character. He admits it's out of character. In the movie, it's like they took that out of character, all the like most aggressive parts, and made that just who he is. Because as a character, he's just that. He's abrasive and
from like the opening
extreme.
Scene. Yeah, he's like that.
He's extreme. He takes one of the this girl that he's trying to get information out of, and takes her on like a drives around like almost crashing into things, like just try to scare her into like telling him what he wants to know. And it's like, that's crazy. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's funny because, I found that shocking in like an interesting way, because I thought, this old movie's not going to do anything too wild. But I was like, whoa, this is a crazy movie. And it's funny because I jotted down that note. Reading the book, I was surprised, like, her roommate was so cooperative in the book. She's just like, here's the information you want. Okay, thanks, bye. Yeah. And that was the same person in the movie. She like doesn't want to say. So yeah, he like kidnaps her. And he's driving like almost off the cliff. He's going into the ocean. The character, what you touched on in the movie, made me think, like, if you ever watched House MD, you might like this movie. Because I feel like maybe it inspired the House character, where he's kind of like that always.
It's like if House was Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah, because it's House in the 70s as like an action detective thing. Yeah, it's pretty cheesy, but I don't know why. I found the movie pretty entertaining, and then because it's more vague about like the medical problems, I felt like that makes it a little more timeless. Because it's not really going to get out of date because it doesn't go into that much detail about it. Whereas the book seemed like they throw some medicine in there and maybe it won't hold up as much.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like it. I was still able to go, it was written in the 60s. I'm still getting this information from, like, at the time. I can view it in that way.
I could see that. Because then it's more like if we read Sherlock Holmes today, we know it's from that time, and he's the best detective of that time kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe I would have liked it more if I didn't watch the movie first.
It definitely seems like the order really influenced this for both of us.
I think
in both directions.
Yeah, I think that's generally true for something that's like a mystery, a detective story, because so much of the enjoyment is like not knowing. But maybe if I forget about this for a long time and come back to the book, I'll enjoy it more, because I really like just the plot, like the story, the concept of it being a medical doctor who like becomes a detective is just an interesting concept for a story. Mm-hmm. So, props to that. Do we want to share now what our number ratings are for
I think
these?
so. I think we're at that point. Okay. So, I read the book first, and I gave the book an 8.7.
Wow.
And then watched the movie and gave it a 4.6.
Oh my gosh.
I did not like this movie.
Yeah, I think the order's important because I gave the movie an 8.
Oh.
I really liked it. And then I gave the book a 6.5.
Okay, not as low.
Nah, yeah, I didn't dislike the book, but...
You almost doubled my score on the movie, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean,
Or I almost halved your score.
Your book score is like more than 2 points higher than my book score, too. So this was
my book score
difference.
is about what I rated Sphere.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And I gave Spheres like one of my favorite things we've done. It's really high. I don't know. This is an interesting, contentious one where the order really matters. So, viewer, be careful. Be cautious with what you do with these ones. And on that note...
Let's average our scores out to see what we, as a show, say that this is rated. And then we'll compare that to the Goodreads and Rotten Tomatoes scores.
Yeah.
All right. Averaged out, the book comes to a 7.6.
Okay, that's a good score.
It's a pretty good score. It's about in the medium good. Mm-hmm. And then the movie comes to a 6.3, so not quite as good on that one.
Mm-hmm. So the book's better than the movie in terms of our combined opinion. Mm-hmm. Readers on Goodreads give the book an average score of 3.75 out of 5. That's a 7.5.
7.5. We're spot on the book. Book properly rated.
Properly rated book. Good job, Goodreads readers. As for the movie on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a critic score of 60%, but an audience score of 29%.
The audience really didn't like it. But we say the critics are about accurately rated by the critics.
Yeah, we agree with the critics this time.
Mm-hmm.
Underrated in terms of the audience, but
and that some of that is probably because of why some of the reasons I didn't like it is it is a movie from the 70s. It's made it's not a timeless movie in that way. You can tell it was made in the 70s.
Very true. Okay, so in terms of the critics, we could say properly rated movie, properly rated book on Goodreads. Well, now let's give our final recommendations for which you should do first. We might agree on
I'll go first on this one. I don't think we'll agree on this one.
What do you say first?
Well, I say read the book, skip the movie.
Yeah. I was just thinking that we'd agree on read the book first. Because I kind of wish I had read the book first. But yeah, I don't say skip the movie.
Yeah, you don't say skip the movie. I say skip the movie.
Yeah, I would say read the book first because then you'll get the mystery that way in its first form. But then the movie will be a fun, entertaining thing to watch after you read it, I think. Okay, on that note, let's see where both of these land on our ongoing list of now 40 different things. 40 books and movies we've reviewed.
All right, so the first one we're going to get to is A Case of Need, which is here at 7.6, tied for number 15 with the Bullet Train movie.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So definitely in the top half.
Yeah, 15 out of 40 is pretty good.
But the Carey treatment, pretty far down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Number 33.
Mm-hmm.
That's 6.3. In between She's the Man and Love in the Time of Cholera book.
Yeah. That's pretty low. Okay, big split on those two. Okay, and if you're looking for something else to read, remember we have some books. You can find them in the description box below.
Hey, Ryan here. My new book of poetry, California Between the Fires, is available now. You can find the link in the description or search California Between the Fires on Amazon to purchase your copy today.
And what else to read? We're doing another episode next month. What are we doing next month?
Next month, we're doing The Great Gatsby.
The great American novel by F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Yeah, and we're doing the 2013 movie adaptation with Leonardo DiCaprio,
Tobey Maguire,
Carey Mulligan,
Joel Edgerton.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movie adaptations, but we are doing that most recent one. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned for that one. And as for A Case of Need and the Carey treatment, viewer, you tell me, which is better, the book or the movie?
Let us know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and tell your friends to tune in too.
You can click another video now. Thank you. Bye.